Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, weighing in at whatever a guitar neck weighs, a guitar neck, and its opponents in this corner, weighing in at whatever a guitar body weighs, a guitar body. This match is scheduled for 3 videos. And together, ladies and gentlemen, they will create a Laura.
Hello, string pickers. Run them to the noise. Let's go!
Are you really gonna look at this cute face and not subscribe?
Welcome back, you bunch of string picking guys and gals, to the wackiness that is the String Pickers channel here at my obscene studio. Guys, sorry about the intro, guys. I was just like, this has just been such a long awaited for project, getting this guitar together and getting everything put together on it, that I just thought it kind of needed an intro like that, you know? So, but yeah, we finally got all of the parts that we need for this build. And I think today that we're going to put it together as much as we can. This may be a 2 or 3 part series. I'm going to try and get it done just as quick as I can. I've been inspecting the neck here because it's been quite a while since I put conditioner on it. And I think that I am going to put just a little bit more conditioner on it and then seal it up with a Howard's Feed and Wax. It looks a bit dry, although I cannot feel the fret ends. But the fret ends still look good. They still, you know, nice and shiny like, you know. So they still look good and everything, but the neck is, the fretboard's looking kind of dry. I did decide to go with the black string trees. If I could just get my mouth to work, then this video wouldn't go on for an hour. Also, we put in some Ed locking tuners in this guitar to make it easier on whoever gets this guitar on string changes and stuff. And we've got about 15 coats of True Oil on the back of the neck. Guys can see that. Nice and slick, not real grabby like poly is, you know, and it still maintains some of that shine. However, I had planned on sanding the Stritch name off of this guitar. I did not want to do that because I didn't want to have to go back over just that one spot with all them layers of True Oil again. So I'm just going to leave that there. And thanks to Chris at CD Nelson 87, you guys need to go check him out. Super cool dude. Super cool. Chris, I love you, brother. You're the man. We have a name for this guitar, and I was contemplating on putting it right here, but I have put it on the neck plate of the guitar. So it is actually going to be right back here on the guitar, right out of the way. Now, I need to bring up something, especially to the pit crew. Shout out to Ted, Brant, Sparky, who needed to be there a long time ago. Welcome, brother. Also, John and J-Man. Ted needed an engraving a while back, and it was mentioned to, hey, send it to Casey. He's got a laser engraver. Guys, I love my laser engraver. Like, it is just awesome. For the money I have invested in it, it's just awesome. I'll just leave it at that. However, the laser engraver that I got was not stout enough to cut through this metal right here. No matter how hard I tried, it just would not cut through. Then I discovered, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to do it on one of these cards and then just cut it out, because this is a thin coated aluminum. Then just cut it out, rough up underneath it a little bit with some sandpaper and on the back here, and then just glue it on there, which is precisely what I did with this one. You guys can see that looks just absolutely cool. You know, I really like how that turned out. It's like you can feel the transition, but it's hard to tell. It's kind of raised up a little, but these cards are really thin. And the paint is thin, and it doesn't have a clear coat of any kind on top of the paint. So I'm thinking because it was a black reflective surface, it wasn't allowing the laser to cut into it, which still doesn't make sense to me. I would get this far through a laser engraving on this, and the engraver would just stop right there and call it done. Did the same thing on this side. And then I figured out something. This laser engraver has two settings. One for wood, plastics, acrylics, stuff like that, and one for metal. So I might still be able to do a neck plate on this. Now, granted, the trim plate that I done on this guitar was a black anodized aluminum, and the black coating over that anodized aluminum is nowhere near as thick or as shiny as what was on that neck plate. So I was able to actually put the Dream Cooperative logo on that particular trim plate for that guitar, but it would not do the neck plate. So we did come up with a fix for that, but even later on I might, because I have a spare trim plate and I have a spare neck plate, we'll try to do something to see if I can get it to etch on the neck plate. And if I can, then that's going to be awesome. I'm hoping that will happen. I really am, because knowing that I can cut through that, if I can cut through that kind of paint and that kind of shine, then that's going to be awesome. It really is. But yeah, today we are going to start the assembly process. We've got a lot of parts from a lot of cool YouTubers in this guitar community, and I've shouted them out in the last Dream Cooperative video that I've done. Oh, by the way, there will be a playlist for the Dream Cooperative, so you guys can go check that out. And hey, if this is your first time here,
I've been staring at this thing for over a month. I generally thought that he was going to use this against me a time or two. So yeah, like and subscribe, by the way.
So guys, I just can't express how important this build is to me. A lot of you already know that watch my channel, but those of you newcomers that come to my channel, you have to know that this is very important to me. This guitar is going to be auctioned off online and in person at a silent auction where people will be allowed to bid on the guitar in person or online, and the highest bidder wins. And I'm hoping that this guitar will bring as much money as possible to the Dream Cooperative, kind of my way of giving back. And I never dreamed that it was going to turn into what it has turned into. It was just going to be a build that I was going to donate, and I wanted it to be special. And I had an idea of what I was going to do to it to make it special. But man, you guys really come in there and you donated just everything for this guitar. And I'm blown away. I'm blown away. So I want to say that I love each and every one of you, and building this guitar, I know that you're going to be right here with me and through the whole process. So to get us started, let's get on the bench and let's start work on this guitar and try and get as far as we can in this video today. I'm sure that this may turn into a 2 to 3 part and then it'll be done, but I'm not really certain. It depends on how well it goes together before I do anything with it. I do know that I got to plug some holes where the pick guard goes and drill some new ones. So anyway, guys, let's get over here and let's get ready to rock and roll. Okay, guys, I have fought this thing tooth and nail. It's ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. This bridge, the Music Lily bridge, it's gone. It is out of here. I am not going to mess with this thing. I have a Geiger bridge that I ordered some time back. This one has a much thicker block on it, a push-in whammy on there. This is a screw-in, and the way that they had this block attached to this plate right here, it is ridiculous. But when you went to screw in the whammy bar, this hole was offset, and it wouldn't screw in. The hole didn't line up. It wouldn't screw in on this bridge plate. I was getting rid of the thin block on the back of this plate anyway. That was gone. I was doing away with that. So what I'm doing now, I kept all of the bridge saddles off of that one because I like that it has the groove to ride on. Now the Geiger doesn't have that. The Geiger doesn't have the groove for those to ride on. I am going to take these off and put those on. So but yeah, man, look, check it out. Don't that look cool? It looks really cool. I'm going to try to give you guys a preview of what it's going to look like, but this has turned into just an all-day thing trying to get all of this figured out and worked out and stuff. It's becoming a nightmare, but it's worth it. It's completely worth it. I want this thing to be just absolutely amazing, and I'm not going to stop until it is. And right now, I think what we need is a lot better trim system than that piece of junk Music Lily trim system that I ordered. Now, granted, guys, I'm not down in Music Lily. I'm not. Music Lily makes good products, really good products. I use a lot of their stuff, but I have a problem with those bridges. Those bridges are just garbage. I don't care nothing about them. And look at this, Geiger that uses these kind of saddles. Those suck. There's no way you should ever want to use this kind of saddle. There's just no way. There's lots better ones out there, and people can appreciate having better parts. These are actually going in the garbage. I'm not keeping them. Not keeping those at all. Okay, so let's go into my screw bin. So what I am going to do is I am going to put these springs and screws in a separate bag, and I'm going to put them in the bag with the saddles off of the Music Lily, because those were decent. It's just everything else attached to that was just horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. I just well to stay with the bridge that came on the kit if I was going to do that, and I'm not doing that. That's just guys, there's no way. I'm not going to put up with it. You know what? I'm going to take these screws out too. I had to beat that little cream color piece on the end of that bar. I just wonder if I'm going to be able to take it back off and put it on this one. It's, I like to never got that thing to go on there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we're going to put this bag down in here. I'm going to set this to the side, and we are going to see now. Let me give you guys a preview of what this thing is going to look like. I think that you are going to be pleasantly surprised. The first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to keep these springs right here. They go with this bridge, so we're going to put this stuff right here all in a little bin to keep with this. We need to put that up there. We're going to call everything that we've done to this guitar today, we're going to call it good for this video, because I'm telling you, man, this thing has absolutely fought me tooth and nail. It's been crazy what I've had to go through to get this thing even close to being done. Dadgum sure don't want to have to tackle the wiring right now after all that mess. So we're going to save that for another video. Guys, keep your plastic bags that you order stuff and you get in. That helps out, especially when you want to keep parts handy and everything. These springs, these are really good springs. I want to put those in there. They go with that trim system. So we put a Geiger in there. We are going to write a Laura on there. That way we know where that come from, and I am going to give you guys a preview of what this guitar is going to look like. Now granted, this is not going to fit together well. I still have to drill holes for the pick guard and stuff like that, but you guys are going to get to see what this is going to look like, or get an idea of what it's going to look like. So we got the shielding done. We got all this shielded out. Bit overkill, I know, but it's kind of a thing, so I like doing shielding. If that way I know that it is shielded, and you shouldn't have to worry about any kind of what is stuck. Oh, it's stuck. I have to put that in that parts bag. But I am I do like, when I do these projects, I don't want to ever have any problems in the future. So, and another problem that we're going to have on this guitar is the fitting under the neck. That's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to do some finagling with that thing to get all this to fit well. The neck will have to come back off, I'm almost certain. So yeah, okay, and this block is going to sit in here. Now this, like I said, this is not fitted, so still think that it would look better with that tip. And I may I'm not sure this will fit down in there. Let me try that real quick. Let me just open this thing up and see if it'll fit down in there. Now granted, this ain't fitting right now because I've not got the wiring situation straightened out, but this is kind of what we're looking at. Oh, you wait just a second. Let me right here it is. Drop that down in there. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right there. That's what this guitar is going to turn into, is that right there. Of course, we'll put better saddles and all that. But that's going to be in the second video, guys. This is just a mock-up, just kind of showing you guys, you know, what's going to happen and how everything is going to come together. So that's pretty much it. But as for today, I've had about all the headache that this thing is offering, and I just want to take a break and, you know, straighten this thing out. But yeah, that's what a Laura is going to look like. I'll show you guys so you don't get much of an angle here. So this kind of gives you an idea. Now this is all out of whack, but you know, it kind of gives you an idea of what this guitar is going to look like. Just a little mock-up of it. Got some really good Edo-Ray locking tuners up here. Then of course we have the back trim plate that's got to go on there with the Dream Cooperative, and you guys seen the neck plate. So yeah, that's it. Let's close this video out.
It is what it is.
Man, this thing's about drove me nuts. Guys, there it is. This is what, part 4 now, I think. I'm not really sure, but we are getting closer and closer all the time. We finally started the assembly process. We've got the pick guard put together. I've got a bridge that I'm putting together for it. It's going to be a whole lot better than the one I ordered from Music Lily. I was kind of disappointed in that. The saddles on it were good, but the actual block and everything else just wasn't all that great. So we're putting a Geiger bridge in there. This is the pick guard. We have the Music Lily Strat style hooked up into here with a 5-way switch. We've changed the knobs to match the kind of cream coloredness of this. These hot rails are hot. I think the bridge, if I'm not mistaken, come in at about 12K, and these two were at 10, right at 10. 5-way switch feels really good. Really happy about that. And the wiring, like I don't have to do anything to this. I just dropped it in and just tightened it up and it's ready to go. Now all I gotta do is just wire these pickups where they need to go on the switch and to ground. And I'm going to get rid of this and put a pure tone output jack in there. So whoever gets this guitar will have a really good output jack in case they ever play corded on stage and are walking around, they step on their cord, you know how it goes. Plus we got the body shielded up. Like I said, that is a bit of overkill, but guys, I don't want anybody to complain about 60 cycle hum and all that stuff. So I think that shielding the body, even though it's got an anodized aluminum pick guard, I think that that's really going to help out. Now, humbuckers shouldn't give off much noise anyway, but if they ever decide to go back to single coils in this guitar and not those hot rails, then they're probably going to end up having some noise. So I'm taking care of that problem right now and shielding this whole thing out so we won't have to worry about them going back to a single coil pickup and then possibly getting a lot of noise from that. Also, we have on the back, Laura has her badge. She's got her name tag on there, and I was really happy about that. It's going to be really cool having that back plate on there too, so we can get to see the Dream Cooperative logo on there. Now I do have 2 of those back plates, so there's one that's a bear and one with the Dream Cooperative. Whoever wins this guitar can make the choice of whether or not they want a plain one or they want the Dream Cooperative on there. It's totally up to them. They can swap them out, do whatever. They can holler at me and I can, you know, burn another picture in the second one, you know, of something they like. I don't know. Also, we're going to have to do some work to that pick guard in order to get it to fit right on this guitar. We've plugged all the holes. It does not line up with the holes on this guitar. It is a good fit, but it has to be moved, you know, and a couple of spots are going to have to probably be kind of routed off, you know, and repainted. I'm not sure yet. Going to have to look into that probably in the second video. But yeah, I think it's going to be a beautiful guitar, and it's going to make someone very, very happy. So that's all I got for you guys. That is part whatever in the world of the Dream Cooperative guitar. I really do appreciate you guys stopping in. I appreciate all the contributions to this guitar. I mean, going through the parts and looking at it, I was just mind blown at this community, at this family on YouTube of guitar techs and players and people that just love music in general. I've always said that music was a universal language. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, anything. Most of the time you can connect with just about anybody through music. And I see that a lot on YouTube, a lot in my comments, a lot in the views on my videos and stuff like that. So I really appreciate it. But as for now, guys, I pray that you and yours are having the most blessed day ever, and I pray that God is with you all. Until next time, later.